Okay, yeah. So there's this quote by Carrie Fisher where she says, if my life weren't funny, then it would just be true. And that is completely unacceptable. Carrie Fisher, for anybody who doesn't know who the fuck that is, she's like an actress who like struggled publicly with like bipolar disorder and addiction. And she went on to like write a bunch of books fictionalizing her real life experiences. And like looking back on this quote, I felt like it was an approach to things that we both had in common. So when I'm in that dark place, that hole, the abyss, you know, whatever verbiage you want to put to it, there's usually only one thing that is able to kind of like get me out of it and help me make that shift from, you know, despair to agency. And that is the idea that whatever I'm going through, my haphazard emotional experiences, you know, my struggles, my pain, my loneliness, that all of that could be, might be, is going to be useful to me in some way. That as an artist, that my life or the experiences of my life could be the material that informs my work. And this occurred to me actually at a pretty young age. I think I was maybe like 5 the first time I felt what could be considered like despair or deep sadness about my situation. I remember like thinking to myself, like I couldn't really like sit with it and just let it be. Like I had to mind that feeling and make something out of it, and that something ended up being a song. But you know, that has kind of evolved into like different things for me. Obviously now I make films, but thinking back on that time, I'm just like, I'm realizing that I had, or I have hopefully still, the gift of alchemy, of like taking something that is utterly abhorrent, absolutely unacceptable, and transmuting it into something that's beautiful and impactful, making that pain mean something outside of the fact that it happened, and sharing it with other people to partake in it and relate to it and imbue their own meaning into it. But I think about this a lot too, but in thinking about it, sometimes I'll rebuttal to myself like this question of why can't the things that happen to you just be things that happen to you, you know, like as they say, it is what it is. But that's the thing, right? Like it can't be what it is. Like it's just not, it can't possibly just be what it is. Like I literally can't live with that. It's just absolutely unbearable and unacceptable. And to some that might feel maybe a little exploitative or self-indulgent, but it's exactly what keeps me alive. It's why I'm still here. So, you know, I just wanted to offer that up to anyone who might be feeling despair at this moment in time. And I know not everyone is an artist, but everybody does have the capability of being creative. So if we can find a way to like share that with each other, to like engage each other in you know, a certain person's humanity, you know, it could save a life. It could really save a life. It saved mine many times. So, yeah.
I had a conversation. That's what my personality is, not who I am, but what I do about who I am. And it was about watching someone make use of their personality to defend themselves against bad reality.
Do you do that?
I'm doing it now. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do.
And it's safer if you think of your life as material.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's sort of a barrier when you write fiction. I like the distance. I like being the observer who looked from the inside out.
You probably are the only person in the world who could make going off on a sort of a manic depressive swing and ending up in a mental institution funny.
It better be funny. Otherwise, what I say is if my life wasn't funny, it would just be true, and that's unacceptable.